Alright, fellas, sorry I've been gone so long. A lot of shit going on. I decided that the guy that hit me, my landlord went to him and said, look, you gotta apologize to Jamie because he's gonna press charges. And the guy said, okay, yeah, I'll do that. So I talked to the guy, and it turns out he had thought I was getting grabby with girls, which I don't do, but that's why he hit me. And if I had pressed charges on him, he would have had problems with his kids, like he would have lost custody. And I thought, well, you know what? If I do that, then I'm going to be looking over my shoulder for the next 20 years. So I said, you know what? Just let's fucking not bother with all this. And turns out he's a nice guy now. Every time I see him down at the bar, I'm always joking around with him. I was like, don't make me fuck up your fist with my face again. Like that type of stuff. Like how often do you see somebody like kiss the fist of their enemy? Like so it turned out really well. It really did. And all I said to him, I'll drop the charges just if I'm ever downtown and you see me in trouble, just help me out. That's it. And I never get in trouble. So he's like, fucking fine. So now I got a really powerful ally. So how weird is that? So anyway, I wanted to do a video on, everyone's always talking about the afterlife and all this other shit. And really, there's all these different possibilities, right? You never really know. There's only really two possibilities. There's either something or there's nothing. Like this is the shit I think about because I got so much spare time to think that my brain never wants to stop. So it's always think. Have something to grind on. I mean, it's something that you have no way to know either way. So it's like a mystery you can always think about. You can always go back and just grind on. So there's either something or there's nothing. So I hear these different religious arguments, right? So you'll have a guy who is religious saying, well, all of you atheists are going to hell. But if you think about it, if there's no afterlife, then the religious guy wasted his life on nothing, on something that doesn't exist. And then the atheist wins because he didn't waste any time fussing over religion. If there is something afterwards, I mean, it's not necessarily that the atheist goes to hell, but then the religious guy will be like, see, I told you there was something, and the atheist will say, oh, okay, it looks like there is. So literally, those are the two possibilities with religion. So either one of them, I mean, either outlook really doesn't matter. Another thing that pisses me off is everyone keeps saying things like you need to live life to the fullest, you need to live every day like it's your last, but if you were to do that, you wouldn't live very long. Well, I'm going to live every day like it's my last. I'm going to shoot up all this heroin because you can't live every day like it's your last. You have to have a lot of regular time where nothing exciting happens so that it makes the exciting times more exciting, but you can't be like the guy from, what was that movie called, Crank or whatever, where he's got to keep his heart rate up. You can't live like that. Like, you'll die very, very young. Very unexpectedly. So anyway, there's all these possibilities about, if there's nothing, this is what people say, oh yeah, go have fun because you only live once. You realize if you die and there's nothing, then it doesn't matter what you did in your life. You could have had the greatest life that has ever been lived. And if there's nothing, it doesn't matter. That's what I mean. Like, it's ridiculous to tell people to go do all this shit, like go live your life to the fullest. Yeah, I mean, then try to go and try new things, have fun, but, don't do it in a way that violates your character. Like, don't, oh, I'm going to go skydiving even though I'm afraid of heights, or, just, even that's something that doesn't even interest me, but everyone's telling me to do it, so I'm going to go do it. You know what I mean? Like, you can only live your life the way you live your life, and you should try to improve yourself. That's what I take from things. Because this whole, me getting over this panic disorder and depression, it wasn't about me conquering the world, it was about me conquering myself. And when you are in control of yourself, and you've mastered, well, I'm not going to say mastered, but you've gotten over a lot of big problems, you wrestled your demons to the ground and faced them, and then now I'm a million times better than I was before. All of a sudden, everything else in life got easier because I was in control of myself, right? So it's not like life is a movie where this thing happens, and it's like a movie where this plot point happens, which leads to this. Life's not like that, but then it makes you wonder, because why is it I finally conquered my own demons that all of a sudden financially my life just snapped right into place? Dating wise, I mean, I go on dates all the time. That snapped into place. I mean, all my problems iron themselves out just automatically because I finally faced myself. And I saw, just had to do a little tiny mental change on my attitude. And I had to become, like, basically, it was a big humbling thing. I just became really humble. But anyway, it's funny how that works, because it's just kind of obvious that there's something else at work. And this is what I mean. This is why I'm doing a life and death thing and what happens afterwards. Because if you look at a lot of things that happen in life, everything's just a little too convenient. The planet is designed to keep going. It's designed to recycle. It's designed to... So it makes you wonder, because there's all these different possibilities about reality, right? This could be the place that people that are borderline, I'm not going to say heaven or hell type of thing, but you're borderline, you did something really bad in your past, you got to come here, and they're like, this is your last chance. You have to buck up and you have to fly right, and we'll be watching you and you won't know it. So that's one possibility. I mean, there's a million different possibilities, right? There's, it could just be this is what bored ghosts do. Like, you're sitting in the afterlife and you're like, hey, if you really do think about it, when you're here, you have this body, you have this personality. When you're dead, you wouldn't have any of this. Like, you wouldn't have your outlook, you wouldn't have your fears, you wouldn't have anything. You'd just be, a spirit or something. Like, I don't know how it works, but you might be bored. So they say, okay, well, why don't you guys, God would be like, I developed this new video game, because maybe there are tons of them. It's called reality. You go here, you have a character that's already predetermined. A lot of things can be changed. There's a lot of variables, but the type of person you are can be molded, but it's almost like a lot of it is predetermined. And you got to figure out who you are. You got to fight with yourself. You got to fight with society. You got to fight with nature, and hopefully come out as a better person. I mean, not everybody. I mean, it doesn't happen to everybody. Everyone doesn't figure themselves out. I'm not saying I figured myself out 100%, because this is basically what life is about, really, to me, is sorting shit out. I mean, there's so many possibilities, and I hate it when somebody says things like, you'll have those religious guys. Holy shit, I just had a dream Fred Phelps died. Because I was looking him up the other day. He pisses me off. I was looking him up the other day because I thought, that guy's got to be dead. He looks like a fucking, scarecrow. But it turns out he's not dead, but I just had a dream he did die. I haven't checked the news yet to see if he has, but it happens to me sometimes. I have these dreams that come true. Anyway, him in his church protesting soldiers that are gay, their funeral, and everyone says, "Oh, First Amendment, you have right to freedom of speech." Freedom of speech is supposed to be that you can challenge the government. Freedom of speech is not meant to picket dead soldiers' graves. To me, that's harassment. You can have an opinion about anything you want, but do it on a fucking internet board somewhere. You don't go to somebody and protest their dead son, because to me that's just fucking it's just harassment. Literally, it is. You're allowed to have an opinion about everything, but you're not going to go up to every fat person and tell you hate them because you don't like fat people. You wouldn't, that type of thing. So there's a difference between freedom of speech and fucking harassment. And if you pick at anybody's funeral, I don't care who you are. Fred Phelps, I can't wait till everyone pickets his funeral. That's going to be fun, but you have no business. If God determines that gay people are going to hell, then you don't have to do anything. It's already determined, right? You don't have to scream it at anybody. You don't have to get in anybody's face. You can sit there smugly, and you can say, no, you're already going to hell. I don't even have to do anything. I don't have to tell you nothing. And, fuck, like, who would ever assume they know what God's thinking, and I have to carry out God created everything. If he wanted to snuff somebody out, he could go... That's what I mean. Fucking ignorance that people have is ridiculous. I don't care what your beliefs are. You can believe whatever the fuck you want, but it's a belief. Just like any belief. There's a million crazy beliefs in the world. Like, come on, really. Anyway, hold on one second. Mr. Milton's being very cute. Oh, there's Mr. Milton. Mr. Milton. Mr. Milton. Hey. I want you to see his little white mustache. No, look up here. Psst. You look around to me. He's got a little white mustache that curls up on one side. He's got this little pouty mouth. Pouty mouth. His mouth is too pouty. Anyway, I've been thinking about this existentialism shit a long time, and I mean, there's got to be something, right? Like, before I had this thought that there has to be something, like there has to be, and then I realized, no, well, life can be completely pointless. But where's that spark that creates somebody? There's got to be something. And even if they're is an afterlife, but you don't have control over it. Say as soon as you die, boom, you're reborn to something else. I mean, that still falls under category 2, which is there's something, but you don't have any control over it, so whatever happens. But I mean, there's too many weird coincidences in the world, like dreams that come true, which I've had, and like, how the fuck does that work? And science will say, oh, it's a seizure. I don't know what they say it is, but you know, there's too many weird things that happen in the world for everything just to be, you know, you live, you die, you rot in the ground, and that's it. There's got to be something else, because I don't know. Then what's if there was no point? Don't you think there would be a lot more anarchy in the world? Don't you think there would be an asteroid hitting us all the time? Don't you think a huge volcano could go off and extinct the species? Like it. That's what I mean. It's I don't know. It seems a little too. I'm not gonna say perfect because it's not perfect, but it seems a little too well thought out. Reality seems too well thought out to be just a bunch of happenstance, random shit that happens. The thing I don't get about this whole thing is I wake up in the morning and I think things like, okay, say there was the Big Bang Theory. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not questioning either way. I mean, it's the best we got. Big Bang happens, right? Universe wills itself into existence. How did that happen? And if the universe willed itself into existence, where did all the fucking rock we're standing on come from? Like, just you picture a blank universe, boom, there's an explosion. Reality is created. It creates, like, basically, it's like a video game. Here's an empty zone, right, for everyone to play in. Where did all the fucking rock come from that the planets are made up of? There you just, because everyone accepts planets as, you know, it's something in space. It's something that happens, but where did they come from? So you got like a 1 billion degree universe that cools down, and you got rocks. Where the fuck does life come from? Oh, amino acids. Well, where did amino acids come from? You know? Like, you can just keep going back a step and saying, well, okay, yeah, even if you have a reason for amino acids to appear, where did the fucking rock come from that we're standing on now? That in the universe. Everyone says, let's explore space. Let's not explore space. Space is purposefully ridiculous huge just because, if you think about it, if this is like a video game, you'd want to be able to look in any direction and never have an end, because then you would think, oh, well, this must be reality because there's an infinite amount of space. But you don't have to go there. There's nothing in space for us to go get. Unless there's a fucking moon within our solar system that's made of pure gold, or some precious metal, we have no need to go into space. There is no fucking reason. I mean, unless technology gets to the point where we can fold space and just teleport to places, there's no point. There's nothing out there. We need to fix things here. This space is just fucking background. That's all it is. It's a background to keep us wondering, you know, to keep us looking up at the stars and going, oh, I wonder what's out there. But there's nothing out there. Everything important is here. And there might be aliens. I mean, who's to say that if there is God, he didn't create aliens too? Maybe that's why the universe is so big, is because we have our little playing field where our Earth is our reality. But then you go far enough out, we can't even see that far. Then there's, hey, another world. Maybe it's a world where, you know, humans are born differently, or maybe it's superheroes. Like, you know, you just never know. It's just that whole string theory thing, but which I don't get. Anyway, I'm just musing about different things with reality and how there's a lot of things out of your control, but all of a sudden, like I said, I fixed myself inside, which made my environment completely change, like for the better. That doesn't make sense to me. There's no way you should be able to will something like that. Like, you figure something out, oh, this is what was bothering me my whole life. Boom. All of a sudden, life just goes, you figured yourself out. Congratulations. Now you have it easy. Well, not easy, but now when you want something, you work for it, you get it. Not like before when I would just struggle for everything. Like, everything I'd struggle. Now I barely try anything, and boom, there you go. You're going to have a house, you're going to have a car, you're going to have all this shit. Anyway, existentialism, man, it's a motherfucker. Anyway, I just sit and think about it, and the more I think about it, the more I go, well, after you die, if there is something, you'll look at your life and go, why did I spend all that time stressing out over nothing? When deep down inside, I had a feeling that I was taken care of. Like, doesn't matter what happens, it kind of feels like, even if you die, which is the worst thing that can happen to you, you're going to wake up and go, oh, shit, wow, that was a lot of fun. I learned a lot, you know, and you get worked up thinking, wow, it was a great story. You know, I had a lot of struggling. I had a lot of stupid things happen, but at the same time, I overcame. I don't know. I'm just musing.